Netherlands, join us on the line. Doc, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, Senna. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I hope you are too.
I am, thank you.
Great. And I'm sure you'll be monitoring the entire discussion on this matter of petitions that have been brought before the president, and then the president has started the processes on the petition. We've gotten to the point where it was communicated yesterday that, one, a prima facie case has been established against the CJ, so a committee has been set up to look into the matter in line with the Constitution. And in line with the Constitution, the advice of the Council of State is that she should be suspended. So the president has taken the necessary processes to do so. There are those who say, those of you who worked on the Constitution didn't intend for it to go this far. It is in there, but it was not supposed to have been used to this extent. How do you respond to such claims, and what do you think about the process thus far?
Well, those who claim that the intention of the framers of the Constitution is not to let the matter go far, I just don't understand. The suspension of the Chief Justice is a logical outcome of the performance of the President's duty to set up a committee to deal with the matter. It will be ridiculous if the Chief Justice is at post while at the same time answering to charges of misconduct. So it follows that logically she must just step aside and allow the process to go on. The President fulfilled his constitutional duty of referring the petition to the Council of State, and in consultation with the Council of State, they set up this 5-member committee after a prima facie case has been made against the Chief Justice. The President, therefore, has no choice in the first step of the process. The second step, he had a discretionary power, and he had to exercise that discretionary power in accordance with the logical outcome of the first step. It's as simple as that. Nothing complicated.
Because the view has always been that because of the nature of the office of the Chief Justice, one of the things the president should do is take the petition, look at it himself, and see if it is worth even having a conversation with the Council of State over. How did you intend for this to be done? Was it up to the president, or no matter what form the petition was in, his job was to just start the process?
The president didn't start the process. A petitioner started the process. The president fulfilled his constitutional duty of passing on that process to the Council of State. I just don't understand what is wrong with the naysayers or the critics. As Professor Ecowas said, a rogue Chief Justice is as much a danger to the independence of the judiciary as an overreaching president. So, what is the problem? Huh? And those who are criticizing the president are also the defenders of the Chief Justice, revealing what was supposed to be confidential. So, first, the Chief Justice goes to the president and said, "You didn't give me the opportunity to tell my side of the story." The president obliges her, give her a copy of the petition that was supposed to be handled confidentially. The Chief Justice then releases the contents of the petition to her defenders, who comes to town to say the charges are frivolous. Huh? Who is keeping faith with the process? Sometimes the hypocrisy is just too much. And what is the interest of the MPP in these proceedings against the Chief Justice? Is she a member of the MPP?
And perhaps if we talk about the interest of the New Patriotic Party, let me then take you to what the minority actually put out in terms in their response to the communique that came from the presidency yesterday. A portion of it says President Mahama's actions confirm what many have long suspected, that this is not about accountability but about raw political control. His public declaration in Akosombo that he intends to, in effect, balance the judiciary by appointing NDC aligned judges exposed the ulterior motive behind this sudden rush to remove the Chief Justice. This is neither good governance nor credible attempt to reset of the judiciary. It is tyranny. If the president believes he can strong-arm the judiciary into submission, he must be reminded that Ghana is a constitutional democracy, not a fiefdom. They feel like this is political. That's what...
First, they say constitutional democracy. The president fulfills a constitutional duty, and he's been accused of political maneuvering. It's contradictory. What they are dealing with is messing up the whole issue, misrepresenting President Mahama as an unconstitutional person. And yet, every act of his points to constitutional behavior. What is wrong with the MPP? Sometimes you wonder.
Doc, is it your feeling that the manner in which they have approached the issue has essentially created confusion around it?
Yes, that's their point. The MPP, they want to create as much confusion as possible. They want to use every action, every word of the president to discredit him. And yet, they are fighting a losing battle.
They are fighting a losing battle?
Yes.
You don't think there's a way in which they can force, perhaps, those who are currently engaged in the process to think otherwise?
Those who are engaged in the process will not be swayed by the actions and statements of the MPP. The rule of law will follow its course. If the Chief Justice is innocent, she will be found innocent. If she is guilty, she will be found guilty.
The suggestion that former Council of State Samuel Okudzeto is that there's no way the president will suspend
never mind
recall him.
Okudzeto. He talks by heart. He talks by heart. Sometimes you wonder if he's a real lawyer. Didn't he sit in the Council of State when President Akufo-Addo was appointing a die-hard MPP to the independent body, the Electoral Commissioners? Hypocrite.
I see. So, as far as you're concerned, you don't see anything wrong with the process, the way it has gone so far, except for the leakages?
Yes, I don't see anything wrong. And as much as the Chief Justice was demanding her right, she was also abrogating a constitutional procedure by leaking the contents to her champions.
Why are you convinced she was the one who did that? Because there's no evidence in the record that says
the communication between her and the president was confidential. The president wouldn't leak the contents, so who else will leak the content? So it has to be her.
You're saying her champions. Champions? Yeah. What battle are they entering on her behalf?
Battle to save her image. Battle to continue piling up the debt in the Aegean stables. The historical record shows that has always been the NDC presidents who have been cleaning the agents' tables, and every time the MPP come to power, they keep piling up the debt. Check. You will find that every sacking of judges and so on has been done by the NDC. Every piling up of rogue judges have been done by the MPP.
I see.
Yes, just check the historical, you'll find it.
But they are accusing the NDC of judicial overreach, attempt to influence the judiciary and manipulate the judiciary through this action.
The NDC is rather reforming the judiciary, cleaning the agents' tables.
Well, nice to speak to you, Doc. But before I let you go, first, Ecowas is 50 years.
Yes.
And I'm sure, because I know one of the things you do, having sat with you at your home, is that you are very much interested in what happens in our country. So I'm sure you monitored the launch of the 50th anniversary of Ecowas. What do you think about the state of Ecowas currently?
Ecowas is at a crossroads. Most of its protocols have not been met. And yet, it is characterized by internal crisis. Some members leaving, decisions being made which cannot be implemented. When the three Sahelians still decided to leave ECOWAS, the chairman, Tinubu, threatened mayhem, and he couldn't follow up. His supporter, Akufo-Addo, the warmonger, wanted to go and invade these countries and realized that it's not the logical thing to do, or undiplomatic behavior. It's so sad that after 50 years, ECOWAS has not been able to fulfill any of its objectives. It remains just a union in name. And this is very sad. It goes to show the strength of the new colonial mantle that held members of the ECOWAS apart. We have been prevented from knowing that the bonds that tie us are far more stronger than those that divide us. It's a difficult situation for West Africa.
Well, President Mahama is offering to help knit those bonds that are breaking apart. In fact, try to put it together.
Yes.
First, do you think it's possible to perhaps get back to an ECOWAS that's committed to its original mission? Or perhaps we are seeing the death of ECOWAS one day at a time?
Like I said, ECOWAS is at a crossroads. And it's still mated. Doesn't know how to move forward and can't go back. President Mahama's unilateral diplomacy is to be recommended. But the end result is still with the jury. The jury is still out.
And for you, the interesting thing to see is that you see someone from Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana who was in power, who actually contributed actively through his actions to leading us to this stage where ECOWAS is virtually fractured. And then you are seeing that's President Akufo-Addo. There you see.
Akufo-Addo was never an Nkrumah.
No, I'm saying from Kwame
Tourism for
Nkrumah's
him.
Ghana.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say he was an Nkrumah. I said from leading Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. Anyway.
Okay.
Yes. Then you're seeing another president who's coming in, trying to mend those cracks that were actively contributed to by his predecessor. I'm wondering to you, what's the way forward for sub-bridging the African continent in terms of perhaps putting up a stronger front in the wake of even what Trump attempted?
If we can get rid of our neo-colonial bonds, that will help. Because what we have not realized is that the white man doesn't mean anything good for the African. Beyond the fact that we are vulnerable and exploitable, the white man doesn't care what happens to you. And when I say white man, it includes everybody whose skin color is different from us. Chinese, Russians, Europeans, they all see Africa as an exploitable continent. That is the essence of capitalism. Capitalism doesn't choose its prey. The prey is there. And it's about time we realize that and started delinking from the world system of capitalism by trading among ourselves. South-South cooperation is much more better than a North-South dialogue.
Doc, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning.
You are welcome.
Dr. Aidoo join us on the line, former Ghana ambassador to the Netherlands. And if you just join us, what are your own views on the discussion we're having? I just described